All right, MAGA versus Jesus, round 12. MAGA says the Bible is against abortion, but the Bible says God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life and the man became a living being.
I am so sick of this talking point. It's ridiculous on so many levels, including if you just read the verse. But let's just go with that. Let's just say that life starts at first breath, okay? If you are a woman and you're pregnant with your baby and you breathe in, do you know what happens when you get that air and you get that oxygen that's like in your lungs and it goes to your blood and your blood carries it all throughout your body? Do you know where else it's carried to? To your baby. If you need breath to be alive, that same breath of life, it goes to your baby. When you take the abortion pill, it cuts off the nutrients to your baby, so you starve it to death, but it also cuts off their oxygen supply, so they die. They suffocate. Of course, you cannot live without breath. If someone suffocated you, you would also die. But the point of taking the abortion pill is that you want to kill your child, and you want to kill them because they're alive. They are like also breathing in amniotic fluid. When they get older, they start like swallowing it, and that actually strengthens their lungs, so when they get out they can take in that breath of air on their own. But even if they're born early and they're a NICU baby and their lungs are underdeveloped, guess what they still are? They're alive. You don't think that they're literally alive until they leave the womb and can breathe normally on their own, which a lot of people outside of the womb can't breathe on their own without help, then that would mean you'd have to support abortion all the way up until birth. And of course, that's ridiculous. Not only that you'd have to support it, that you would believe they are not alive until after birth. But once again, if you look at the actual verse in Genesis 2:7, they're talking about Adam, the first man who had to be created. He wasn't born. He didn't come out of a womb. He was made from the dust of the earth. And God had to breathe the breath of life into him to make him alive. Do you keep seeing the supernatural process repeated? Or do man and woman come together and become one flesh and pop out babies? That's what happens. So it's all natural now. But even if there was a supernatural process that was making us alive, you have no evidence that that's not happening at the womb or at conception. You can see a spark of life when that egg meets that sperm. Stop twisting the scriptures and ignoring the science.